Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video is second part. Here we will be discussing the second unit of the research and statistics D19. I will suggest you to watch the first video so that we can relate and understand better this unit. So without any further delay, let's get started. 2.1 Types of research. First, let's understand what is qualitative and quantitative types of research. To understand it, we need to understand first the basis of research. The basis for any educational research is the scientific method. That means any educational research is based on scientific method. Here, hypotheses are written and subsequently proved or disproved by data, which leads to the creation of new hypotheses. So let's understand this. Educational research follows a systematic approach similar to how scientists solve problems. It start with a question or a hypothesis. That means we guessed about something, and the researcher then collect the information and guess is correct or not. They check it. This process often leads to creation of new question and ideas to explore further. Next paragraph. The two main types of data when the purpose of a research is to search answers. So we get two types of data. So data is one is qualitative data, another is quantitative data. So the research type is based on the type of data we are collecting. If the research include collection of data in qualitative form, so it will be qualitative research, and if the data collection type is quantitative, then it will be a quantitative research type. So let's understand it. So what is qualitative research? It focuses on understanding human behavior, social phenomenon and experience through non-numerical data. So here is a difference. It's a non-numerical data. In qualitative research, it includes non-numerical data. It explores why and how questions. It involves collecting and analyzing of non-numerical data. That means text, images, uh, audios, and even sometimes videos as well. One example of qualitative data research will be exploring why people prefer a certain coffee shop, and this we can gather the information through interviews and observation, which is non-numerical data. All right, next, quantitative research. This focuses on testing hypotheses, predicting outcome and measuring relationships. It's mainly focuses on testing the hypothesis, just like the example of watering plants, which can help to grow fast. There we test the hypothesis and check if it's wrong or right. That means we predict that watering was beneficial. And it also measures the relationship between the water and the plant. That means it also measures the relationships, just like the example water and the plant's relationships. In a previous video, you can check it. Like in qualitative research, it also involves collecting and analyzing data, but here the data is numerical, such as the data we get from surveys, experiment, and statistical analysis. And it seeks to identify patterns, trends, and correlations. Let's see next. These are the methods it uses: surveys, experiment, regression analysis, statistical modeling. That means when we collect the data, we use this method to collect the information needed to check our hypothesis. So these are the methods. Next, it emphasizes on objectivity, reliability and generalization. Means it should have an objective, reliable, and should be able to generalize. An example of quantitative research would be researching about the relationship between coffee drinking and production or productivity of that person. How our production usually, you know, uh, get affected with the consumption of coffee. Here we need to analyze the survey data and statistical correlations. So it's a quantitative research method. So there are some of type of qualitative and quantitative research. Types of qualitative research: case study, ethnography, phenomenological research, narrative research, historical research, And next is types of quantitative research: descriptive survey research, experimental research, single subject research, casual comparative research, correlation research, meta-analysis. There is a very less chance that we get to ask this type of questions in examination. We can just remember all these things. You can pause this video and read once. Next is difference between these two types. First, the purpose of qualitative research is to understand experiences, opinions, or feelings, whereas the purpose of quantitative research is to measure or quantify something. Next, the data collected in qualitative research are words, descriptions, and observations. However, the type of data collected in quantitative research are numbers and statistics. The methods of qualitative research are interviews, focus groups, and observations. But the method used in quantitative research are surveys, experiments, statistical analysis. And qualitative research focuses on why and how topics, whereas quantitative research focuses on how much and how many. Next differences is analyzing and the outcome. You can read it up, it's easy. Let's see types of research based on objectives of research. That means it's been categorized according to the objective of the research. Initially, qualitative and quantitative are categorized based on the data collection type. Here it's objectives of the research. There are three types. First is basic or fundamental research. Next is applied research. And the third one is action research. Now let's understand it briefly. When we do research for the sake of knowledge, then it's known as basic or fundamental research, which has no immediate effect on practical level. It's mainly for expanding our knowledge and understanding a phenomenon or area. It can also be done for foundation of some theory and aims to answer what and why questions. That means this is research is just a foundation, just for knowledge basis. These are conducted in controlled environment like this example, understanding the cognitive processing of visuals and verbal information in students with dyslexia. The finding of this research can reveal insights into cognitive functioning in dyslexia, which can later inform practical teaching strategy. But the goal of this research will be only to understand the theoretical perspective rather than immediate application. So this is basic research because it focuses on gaining knowledge about a cognitive process without necessarily aiming for a specific intervention or right tool to measure that. Next type, applied research. It's a research which is done with the aim of solving practical problem or developing new product. It builds upon fundamental research, which means initially one research for the same topic is done without any practical effect. Now the research is done for more practical changes. Next point, as it has practical effects, it's mostly done with collaboration with industry, government, or any other stakeholders, and it requires investment and it's expensive. The research is expensive, so we need some collaborations. Next, objective is to specify issues and improve processes or develop a new product. The next is its natures. Often hypothesis driven, aiming for immediate applicability of findings. That means it's often hypothesis driven. We predict some outcome, then we do the research for that. Example, assessing the impact of visual timetable on reducing anxiety in students with ADHD and autism. So if the result comes to be effective, for example, we did the research and it come to be effective, the visual timetable was effective, then visual timetable can be adopted as a classroom tool to improve emotional regulation and routine management for students with special needs. This research is applied research because it aims to address a specific challenge and offer a practical evidence-based solution for special educator. Hope it's clear. Next is action research. This is more advanced level of research. The objective is to bring about change while simultaneously studying the process and outcomes of that change. It's action research. In simple terms, action research aims to solve a problem while studying how the solution works and what brings it the results. Its nature is collaborative, involving stakeholders in the research process to ensure relevance and applicability. It's a teamwork process where teachers, students, and others work together to make sure the research is practical and useful. One definition is by Mowley. Mowley is of the opinion that action research is an on-the-spot research aimed at the solution of an immediate classroom problem. Meaning, according to Mowley, action research is a quick and focused study done in the classroom to fix an immediate problem. It is an unified exercise that bridges the gap between the theory and the practice. The key idea is to it's connect what we learn in theory with what we actually do in practice, helping to improve teaching and learning directly. Let's see some advantages of action research along with one example. It has behavioral unity because it gives immediate solution to the problem. That means it has immediate solution. Next, it's a process which in every phase has close contact with the reality of problem solving. That means it's practical and realistic based. Example, using sensory break to improve focus and behavior in students with ASD. Here we are using the sensory break. So if the sensory break helps after the research we done, the teacher can continue using this strategy, potentially sharing it with other staffs or families to support the student in other settings. So this example is a action research that helps addresses a specific challenge faced by a student with ASD and measures the effectiveness of the solution in real time. Now let's see the differences between these three types of research. The first is purpose. The purpose of basic research is to expand the knowledge and understanding of concept or theories. On the other hand, applied research purpose is to solve specific problem or improving existing practice. But the purpose of action research is focusing on solving immediate classroom problem while studying about it and its outcome. So to help you understand and relate with these differences, I have mentioned pictures like the first one is for expansion of knowledge, next is solving problem, and the last one picture has 4 hands indicating that 2 hands are solving problem by joining the puzzles and the other 2 hands are studying by using the laptop. Alright, the next difference, focus. Basic research focuses on exploring theoretical or general principles, whereas applied research focuses on addressing real world problems directly. It's more practical. And action research focuses on addressing current classroom or specific issues. So the first one is theoretical, next is practical, and the last applied research is immediate, addressing the issues. The next difference, example of basic or fundamental research will be an study on brain function in children with ASD. Here it's about studying, whereas example of applied research would be testing a new teaching method for children with ASD. And example of action research will be using sensory breaks to improve focus in students with ASD. The next, let's see the difference in scope. Basic research scope is broader, looks at universal or generalizable principles, whereas applied research is narrow, targets a specific issue or need. On the other hand, action research scope is very focused, aimed at a specific classroom or student related issue. So let's see some stakeholders involved in these types of research. Stakeholders means the teachers, parents, students, or the professors, and even the researchers. In basic research, there is no direct stakeholders involved. On the other hand, in applied research, limited stakeholders are involved, typically just the researchers and the teachers. But in action research, teachers, students, and sometimes parents and professionals are also involved. Next is the duration. Basic research is often long term. Next, applied research duration is median, can take some months or years depending on the complexity of the research. However, the action research duration is usually short term, typically conducted within few weeks or even months. The outcome, the basic research outcome can expand theoretical knowledge without immediate application, whereas the outcome of applied research can lead to practical changes or improvement in practice. But the outcome of action research provides immediate solution to classroom problem and offers actionable research and, offers actionable results. These are all the differences. You can pause and read again. Now let's see the next one, process of research. This topic we have already discussed with an example in the previous video. You can check it. It usually has 9 steps. First is identifying the problem. Second, conducting a literature review. Means studying what other literature or researcher has done or research. Next, the 3 is to develop a hypothesis, meaning predicting of the possible solution of the or the relationship between the reliables. 4 is designing the research methodology, means selecting what will be the research method, data collection techniques, sample size. For example, it will be a qualitative or a quantitative research method. How many and what type of population to be selected, all of these things. Fifth is to collect the data. Next, to analyze the data that has been collected. The next is interpretation of the results that we find, and the last will be drawing conclusions. 9, report finding. This was the example. It was about relationship between sleeping and learning in students. This is also correct. It has combined some steps together and has 8 steps. Alright, let's see the next topic, 2.3, tools of research. These tools are used to collect data in research studies. Now let's see about test. Definition of test is it's structured instrument designed to assess specific attribution, skills or knowledge. That means a test is a tool or method used to check how many or how much someone knows, can do or understand about a particular topic or skill. It is organized and focused on specific area to measure performance or ability. Its types can include standardized tests, for example, entrance exams for everyone, or psychological assessment that tests mental health or behavioral or personalities, or educational exams like final exams. The purpose is to evaluate performance, proficiency, or cognitive abilities in a quantifiable manner. That means to measure how well someone performs, how skilled they are, or how they like and learn using clear and measurable results. The data type are primarily quantitative, means they give numerical results, providing scores or grade that can be statistically analyzed. That means used for analyzing and comparison. An example, an IQ test measuring cognitive abilities, or a standardized math test in schools. So this is an example. Now let's see about questionnaire. Questionnaire is a set of questions aimed at gathering information from respondent. So the format can be administered online, on paper, or through face-to-face interviews. The purpose is to collect data on opinions, behaviors, demographics, or experiences. The data type in questionnaires can yield both qualitative and quantitative data depending on questions type. It can be open-ended or close-ended. That means it can provide quantitative data, numbers or ratings from close-ended questions like multiple choice. And another type can be qualitative data, descriptive answer from open-ended questions. Example, opinions or explanations. So these are qualitative data. Another example, survey, polls, feedback, forms. For example, a customer satisfaction survey asking about service quality and experiences. So the next tool is checklist. The definition is it's simple tool that lists specific criteria or items to be considered or to be completed. It means it is a straightforward tool that lists tasks, criteria or items to ensure nothing is missed or overlooked. The structure is it typically consists of a series of items that can be marked as completed or observed. The purpose is to ensure thoroughness in data collection and to verify the presence or absence of specific factor. That means its purpose is to make sure all necessary items are checked, ensuring accuracy and completeness in data collection or verifying specific details. Example, to-do list, quality check, control check, observation checklist. So these are the examples. So now next tool is rating scale. Definition is instrument that allow respondents to express their opinions or attitudes on a continuum. In simple words, it is a tool that helps people express their opinion or feelings on a range, usually from one extreme to another. For example, from strongly agreed to strongly disagreed. Its types, common formats include Likert scales, that means rating from 1 to 5, and semantic differential scales, for example, good to bad. The purpose is to quantify subjective attributes such as satisfaction, agreement, or frequency of behavior. That means uh, the purpose is to turn subjective feelings or opinions like satisfaction or agreement into measurable data, because we cannot measure how we feel, right? So its purpose is to turn into measurable data by asking respondent to rate something on a scale. Data type primarily quantitative, providing numerical values that can be analyzed statistically. Example of rating scale are Likert scale, a scale with statements where respondents rate their agreement, strongly agreed to strongly disagreed. Next, semantic differential scale, a scale where respondents rate items between two opposite adjectives, happy to sad. Customer satisfaction rating, a scale where customer rate their satisfaction from 1 to 5, very satisfied to or very unsatisfied to very satisfied. For example, a Likert scale for measuring customer satisfaction with a service. Example, a customer is asked to rate for the statement that the service was quick and efficient. So the scale we give strongly disagreed, neutral, agreed, and strongly agreed. So this is the example. The next point, 2.4, action research in teaching learning environment. What is action research? Action research is a process where teachers or educators solve real life classroom problems while other learning and improving their teaching methods. It's practical, focused, and helps to bring about positive changes right away. One popular definition is by Morley. Action research is on the spot research aimed at solving an immediate classroom problem. This means it's a quick, hands-on way for educators to find solution and improve learning outcomes. Let's assume about an art teacher using action research. First, the art teacher recognizes and wonders about a classroom problem. Next, she analyzes the solution. Then she come up with the solution to try. Next, she collects and analyzes the data. And the last, the art teacher think about the possible reasons students are having trouble. So this was called in short, simple action researches. Next, some other example of action research in classroom could be improving student engagement and motivation, engaging reading comprehension strategies. So now these are the topic where we can do action research. That means research that is action. Implementing differentiated instruction techniques, promoting collaborative learning in the classroom, or integrating technology to support student learning. So these all are the example of how an action research topic could see. Next is some characteristics of an action research. Action research investigates human action and social situation which are experienced by teachers, depend the teachers. The aim is to deepen the teacher's understanding, that means the diagnosis of the problem. And action research pauses the action to change a situation until it gains a deeper understanding of the problem, just like the example. So next, it explains what's happening by telling a story that connects the event to its context, showing how different factors depend on each other to occur. It sees things from participants' perspective. That means in the example we were looking from the children's perspective. It uses everyday language to explain what's happening. It involves open and honest dialogue between the teachers, researchers, participants, allowing for equal partnership and free flow of informations. And the last topic of this unit is 2.5 professional competencies for research. It refers to the key skills and qualities researchers should possess to carry out effective and reliable studies. These are the qualities a researcher should possess to conduct a research. The first one, friendly with respondents. That means building rapport with the participant to encourage open, honest responses. The second is capacity for depth information. That means it is the ability to explore complex topic and gather detailed insight. The third is accuracy. That means the quality to ensure precise data collection and reporting without errors. The fourth is truthfulness, providing honest and unbiased information in the research process. Keen observer, a researcher should pay attention to detail that might provide valuable data. Low dependency on common sense. That means a researcher should rely on data and research tools instead of assumptions or gut feelings. The next is least time consumption or least time consumer. That means effectively managing time, focusing on key tasks without unnecessary delays. So this is another important. Having clear terminology. That means the researchers should use precise, understandable language for clear communication. Good in conversation. The researchers should engage effectively with participants to gather meaningful data. Then expert in subject. The researchers should have deep knowledge of the research topic to ask the right question and understanding the results. And careful in listening. There should be an active listening to participant to capture all the relevant information. The next is train in research tools. The researcher who is doing the research should be proficient in using research methods, instructions, and technology. Next is more analytical. That means the researcher should have the ability to critically analyze the data to draw meaningful conclusions. Alright, the next is equality and justice. The researchers should ensure fairness, objectivity, and ethical practice in the research. The last but not least, economical. That means conducting research effectively with minimal resources while maintaining the quality is also important. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up by clicking the like button so that it can reach to many people who need this, and also it motivates me for the upcoming videos. See you in the next part of the subject.